will continue to suffer until you learn to stop reacting. Anger is not born in the world around you. It is born in your interpretation of it. What you call an insult, a betrayal, or an injustice is in truth only an event, a movement of fate, a vibration in time. Yet you, through the stories you create in your mind, give it power. And once it takes root, anger becomes a poison, subtle, silent, and destructive. Welcome to Stoic Valor, where every word is meant to awaken your inner strength and remind you that true power lies not in control over others, but in mastery of yourself. We often think that anger is a justified emotion, that when someone wrongs us, it's natural, even noble, to fight back. But the Stoics saw it differently. They believed that anger is never useful, never virtuous, never wise. Seneca wrote, "Anger, if not restrained, is more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." Think about that. The emotion we believe protects us, in reality, harms us more deeply than the event that caused it. To the Stoic mind, anger is not strength. It is weakness, a failure to govern oneself. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and philosopher of resilience, wrote in his private journal, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Those words carry a timeless truth. When you react in anger, you become the very thing you despise. You mirror the chaos of others instead of embodying your own peace. Epictetus, once a slave and later a teacher of emperors, taught that no man can make you angry without your consent. It is not things themselves that disturb us, he said, but our judgments about them. This is the foundation of Stoic wisdom, the dichotomy of control. Some things are within our power, our thoughts, our actions, our choices. Everything else, the opinions of others, the weather, fortune, and fate, lies outside of it. When you are insulted, what truly happens? Someone moves their lips and releases air into sound. Those sounds only hurt if you decide to interpret them as an attack. Anger, then, is not the product of the insult, but the product of your decision to take it personally. This realization alone is enough to set you free. The Stoics trained their minds daily to remember this separation between what they can control and what they cannot. When Marcus Aurelius woke each morning, he reminded himself, "Today I shall meet with meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly men, and yet none of them can harm me." He didn't say this to sound superior, but to anchor his peace before facing the storms of the world. He knew that if he lost control of his emotions, he would lose his freedom. Seneca once compared anger to a wildfire. He said it starts small from a spark, but quickly consumes everything in its path: reason, dignity, compassion. To extinguish it, one must not throw more fire upon it. One must smother it with calm understanding. This is the Stoic path, not to suppress emotions, but to transform them through reason. But how can we live this truth in a modern world filled with provocation, online insults, betrayals in relationships, injustice in politics, the endless noise of opinion? The answer remains the same as it did 2,000 years ago: mastery of perception. Between stimulus and response lies a space. In that space you choose, and that choice defines your character. Ryan Holiday, a modern voice of Stoicism, wrote, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." When anger arises, it is not a failure. It is your moment to practice mastery. It is your training ground. Every frustration is a chance to build inner strength. Every insult is an opportunity to test your calm. Anger blinds you to reason. It makes you say things you later regret, makes you act against your principles, and clouds your vision. The Stoics knew that the highest form of power is self-command. Anyone can shout, anyone can strike back, but few can remain unmoved, composed, deliberate, centered. To practice Stoicism is to practice inner sovereignty. It means to remind yourself again and again, this is not under my control. My peace is. When someone cuts you off in traffic, when a friend betrays you, when life takes a turn you did not expect, the Stoic mind does not collapse. It breathes, it observes, it acts with purpose, not passion. Epictetus said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit. These are harsh words, but they hold the key to freedom. The world will not stop testing you. People will lie, disappoint, and provoke, but no one can force you to respond in anger unless you give them that power. And why would you give away what is most sacred, your peace of mind, to someone who may not even understand themselves? Seneca warned that we must learn to delay our reactions. When anger begins to rise, he said, step back. Postpone your judgment. Even a small pause between impulse and response can save you from chaos. Because in that pause, reason reawakens. Modern psychology echoes this Stoic insight. Cognitive behavioral therapy, inspired by Stoic principles, teaches that our thoughts, not external events, determine our emotions. When you reinterpret the situation, you change the feeling it produces. Thus, Stoicism was not only a philosophy, it was an early science of the mind. Let's look deeper at why we get angry. Beneath anger lies expectation, the belief that the world or others should behave a certain way. When they don't, our illusion of control shatters, and we rage against reality. The Stoics taught that this is the root of suffering, resisting what already is. Acceptance, therefore, is not weakness, it is wisdom. It does not mean resignation, but recognition, seeing things as they are, not as you wish them to be. Marcus Aurelius said, accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs. He saw every event, even hardship, as part of the larger design of nature. When you adopt this mindset, anger dissolves into understanding. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, how can I respond virtuously? That shift changes everything. It turns pain into growth, adversity into strength, and enemies into teachers. Think of a calm sea. It reflects everything clearly, the sky, the stars, the moon. But once disturbed, the reflection shatters. So too with the mind. When anger stirs it, truth becomes distorted. Only a calm mind can see things as they truly are. To never be angry again does not mean to be numb or indifferent. It means to love reason more than impulse, peace more than pride. The Stoics were not emotionless. They simply refused to be ruled by emotions. This first step, understanding the nature of anger, is the foundation. Without this awareness, every technique fails. You must see anger not as a reaction to the world, but as a reflection of your mind's weakness. Once you see that, you gain power over it, because in the end, the world will always challenge you. But as the Stoics taught, you cannot control the external events, only your response to them. That response, if guided by reason, patience, and understanding, becomes your true armor, the armor of tranquility. You can live your entire life waiting for others to behave better, or you can master yourself and become unshakable. The choice is yours, and that is what Stoicism is all about. The art of ruling oneself in a world that has lost control. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, it's easy to understand Stoic theory. It's harder to live it. We all know that anger leads to regret, that peace feels better than rage, and that wisdom comes from calmness. Yet when life presses the right buttons, when someone insults us, disrespects us, or betrays our trust, all theory disappears. The flame rises again. So how do you move from knowing the Stoic way to living it every day? The answer begins with practice. Stoicism is not a philosophy to admire. It is a discipline to train. The same way a soldier sharpens his sword before battle, the Stoic sharpens his mind before life's chaos. Let's begin with the first practice, the pause. When anger begins to stir, when your chest tightens, when your mind starts to build the story of injustice, stop. Do nothing. Say nothing. Just breathe. This single moment of awareness can save you. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." When you delay your reaction, you take back control from the storm. You stop being a slave to impulse. In that pause, ask yourself one question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, if you cannot change the words someone said, the action someone took, or the event that already happened, then anger serves no purpose. Let it go. Redirect that energy to what you can control: your composure, your next decision, your state of mind. Epictetus advised his students to rehearse this daily. He said that when insulted, remind yourself, this person's opinion is theirs. It does not touch my soul unless I allow it. It's not suppression, it's selection. You are choosing which battles deserve your inner peace. The second practice, the view from above. This is one of the most powerful Stoic exercises. Imagine rising above your current situation, as if your soul were floating above the earth. From that height, you can see your life, your city, your country, and beyond. You realize how small every argument truly is. The person who wronged you is a tiny figure in the great drama of existence. Time will erase the moment, the anger, the insult. Why waste your serenity on what will soon be dust? Marcus Aurelius practiced this visualization often. He wrote, "Look down from above at the countless gatherings, the ceremonies, the armies, the farms, the marriages, the funerals. Consider how small the things we fight over are." When you see life through this cosmic lens, you stop taking offense at every minor event. You begin to understand that peace is not weakness, it's perspective. The third practice, negative visualization. The Stoics would intentionally imagine the loss of what they loved most. Their health, their status, their loved ones, not to be morbid but to prepare their minds for reality. By rehearsing adversity, they reduced its sting. When you remember that everything is temporary, you stop demanding that the world bend to your will. You appreciate it as it is. When someone angers you, imagine losing the opportunity to ever speak to them again. Imagine that this moment, this petty argument, could be your last exchange. Would you still choose anger? Or would you choose understanding, compassion, or silence? The fourth practice, journaling. Every night, Marcus Aurelius wrote reflections in his personal diary, not for others, but for himself. He examined where he fell short, where anger took over, and how he could improve tomorrow. You can do the same. Write down the moments when you lost control. What triggered it? What story did your mind tell you? What could you have done differently? Awareness is the beginning of mastery. In your journal, also write victories, the times you stayed calm when provoked. Celebrate those small moments of control. Over time, they build into unshakable resilience. The fifth practice, voluntary discomfort. The Stoics believed that by training yourself to endure small discomforts, you prepare for greater ones. Take cold showers, walk in silence, go a day without your favorite luxury, or endure a minor inconvenience without complaint. Each time you do, you strengthen your tolerance for frustration. You train yourself to say, "This too is nothing." Seneca practiced sleeping on the ground once a month, reminding himself that comfort is not a necessity, but a privilege. When you discipline the body, the mind follows. You become less reactive, more stable, because nothing surprises you anymore. Now, let's turn these practices into daily habits. In the morning, before you face the world, repeat Marcus Aurelius's meditation. Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, but they are none of my concern. This simple reminder prepares your mind. It tells you, expect the storm, be ready. When it arrives, you are not surprised. Throughout the day, practice the discipline of assent. Every time a thought arises, this person is disrespecting me, or this shouldn't be happening, pause and challenge it. Is it true, or is it just a judgment? The Stoics trained themselves to separate impressions, what happens, from interpretations, what we tell ourselves about it. This alone can dissolve 90% of unnecessary anger. At night, return to your journal, reflect, refine, recommit. Over time, this triad, preparation, awareness, reflection, becomes your fortress. Let's now look at some real-life applications. Imagine you're at work. A colleague takes credit for your idea. Your first instinct is to confront them angrily, but then you remember, this is outside my control. My piece is not for sale. Instead of reacting, you calmly document your contribution, protect your integrity, and continue your work. The anger that once consumed your mind becomes fuel for focus. Or picture this, you're stuck in traffic. The driver ahead cuts you off. You feel the familiar heat rise in your chest. But then you breathe. You remind yourself, this person may be rushing to the hospital. Maybe they're having a bad day. Compassion replaces irritation. You arrive home with peace, not poison. Or think of betrayal, one of life's deepest wounds. Someone you trusted lies to you, and you feel rage ignite. But instead of being ruled by it, you remember Seneca's words. The wise man is self-sufficient. He cannot be hurt by another unless he allows it. You step back. You accept reality, learn from it, and set boundaries. You do not let anger linger, because it only chains you to the past. This is not weakness. This is power, silent, stable, unbreakable. Every moment you choose calm over chaos, you grow stronger. Each victory, however small, rewires your mind to respond differently. Soon, the triggers that once shook you lose their power. You realize that the world hasn't changed. You have. Halfway through this journey, pause for a moment and reflect on this truth. If this message is resonating with you, don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Valor, because here we don't just reflect, we transform. Every word is a tool, every lesson a weapon, every insight a step towards your highest self. Now, let's go deeper into the art of emotional alchemy, transforming anger into wisdom. When you feel anger, recognize it as energy. That energy is neither good nor bad, and it is simply power. You can waste it in shouting, or you can redirect it toward growth. Go for a walk, write, train, create. Channel the fire into something that builds rather than destroys. Marcus Aurelius fought wars, governed an empire, faced betrayal, illness, and loss. Yet he rarely allowed anger to rule him. How? Because he used adversity as training. Every challenge became a test of virtue. He would ask, what would a wise man do in this moment? And he would act accordingly. You can ask the same. When your emotions rise, whisper this question: what would a Stoic do right now? The mind shifts instantly from reaction to reflection. This is how you build the habit of mastery, through repetition, awareness, and choice. Modern thinkers echo the same wisdom. Ryan Holiday says, control your emotions or they will control you. James Clear reminds us that small habits shape destiny. If you train daily to pause, to observe, to detach, eventually peace becomes your default state. The world is not calm, but you can be. The world is not fair, but you can be just. The world is full of noise, but you can choose silence. Anger is loud, wisdom is quiet. And in that quiet, you will find freedom, because when you stop reacting, you start creating. When you master your emotions, you master your destiny. And when you finally realize that no one has the power to make you angry without your permission, you become untouchable. That is the Stoic's reward. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus, imagine this moment. You are calm, unshaken, untouchable. The world may rage, storms may rise, people may betray, yet within you there is silence. Not the silence of emptiness, but of strength. This is not a fantasy. It is what the Stoics trained for every single day. You have walked through the theory, the understanding that anger is not born from events, but from interpretation. You've learned the practices, the pause, the perspective, the journaling, the discipline. And now you stand at the threshold of something greater, transformation. What would it mean to live each day immune to anger? To walk through conflict and remain centered? To face insult and feel no need to defend your ego? It would mean freedom, true, unshakable freedom. Seneca wrote, "The greatest blessing of mankind are within us and within our reach." You don't need a perfect world to be calm. You only need a disciplined mind. Anger enslaves you to the external. Stoic calm returns you to the internal, to the fortress of the self. Every time you refuse to be provoked, you reclaim your power. Every time you forgive instead of retaliate, you rise above. Every time you stay silent when others seek to pull you into chaos, you remind the world and yourself that you are governed by reason, not emotion. And this is the secret of the Stoic warrior. Peace is not the absence of challenge, it is mastery within it. Epictetus said, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger." These are not words of submission, they are words of sovereignty. The Stoic knows that we are all flawed, all struggling, all imperfect. The one who understands this deeply cannot hate, cannot rage, cannot stay angry. He sees himself in others, and through that vision, compassion is born. When you feel anger rising, remember this image, fire feeding on itself. The more you fuel it, the stronger it grows. But once you withdraw your attention, it starves, it fades, it dies. Every moment of calm you cultivate is a refusal to feed the fire. Let's be honest, this world often celebrates anger. It tells you to stand your ground, to teach them a lesson, to get even. But what if your strength was not in reacting, but in staying unmoved? What if your calm was your rebellion? The Stoics didn't avoid life. They engaged it fully. They led armies, advised emperors, raised families, faced loss and injustice, yet they refused to surrender their inner peace to circumstance. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth, but his diary was filled not with pride, but with humility, discipline, and constant reminders to remain kind. Patient and unprovoked, he wrote, "The best way to avenge yourself is not to become like your enemy." In those words lies the essence of this video. The highest form of strength is restraint. But how do you embody this in a world that constantly tests you? Start small. Practice when it doesn't matter, so you are prepared when it does. When someone cuts in line, stay calm. When you receive criticism, listen before you respond. When life disrupts your plans, adapt instead of complaining. Every moment of calm builds your inner fortress brick by brick. The Stoics trained not to avoid pain, but to use it. Not to reject life's chaos, but to turn it into order. They understood that anger is just pain wearing armor. It's the cry of the ego. I deserved better. But the wise know that expectation is the seed of suffering. You are not owed anything by the world. You are responsible only for how you meet it. Remember this, you cannot control what others do, but you can control what you become because of it. In the stillness of acceptance, you find clarity. In the practice of restraint, you find power. And in the discipline of self-control, you find freedom. There will be moments when you forget this, moments when anger sneaks in quietly, wearing the mask of righteousness. When that happens, do not shame yourself. Observe it, learn from it, turn it into fuel for your growth. Every misstep is a lesson, every trigger an invitation to strengthen your mind. Ryan Holiday once said, "The obstacle is the way." The people who provoke you are not your enemies, they are your teachers. They reveal where you are still weak, where the ego still rules. Thank them silently, for they give you a chance to practice what others only preach. And when the next storm comes, and it will, stand firm. Let the winds howl, let the chaos swirl. You are no longer the same. You have trained for this. In time, anger becomes foreign to you. You see it arise in others, but not in yourself. You begin to move through the world with a quiet confidence. The noise no longer disturbs you. The opinions of others lose their power. You act, you speak, you live, all guided by principle, never by impulse. This is the life the Stoics envisioned. A life of balance, reason, and deep, unshakable peace. Seneca called anger a temporary madness, and indeed it is. But the cure is not found in suppression. It is found in understanding. Once you see anger for what it truly is, a distortion of perception, you no longer fear it nor feed it. You simply watch it pass. So here is your challenge. For the next 7 days, practice stillness. When provoked, pause. When frustrated, breathe. When wronged, forgive. At the end of each day, write down how many times you stayed calm and how many times you didn't. Not to judge yourself, but to grow in awareness. Because mastery is not built in a single day. It is built through 1,000 small moments of self-control, and slowly you will notice the change. The insults that once hurt you will feel meaningless. The disappointments that once broke you will become lessons. The chaos of others will no longer steal your peace. You will realize that anger was never your protector. It was your prison. Freedom begins when you no longer let the world dictate your emotions. Remember, Stoicism is not about suppressing feeling, it's about guiding it. It's about understanding that true strength is not to fight everything, but to remain untouched by what doesn't matter. If you master this, nothing can shake you. Not betrayal, not injustice, not the storms of fate. You will walk through life calm, deliberate, and whole, a living embodiment of Stoic valor, because in the end, the greatest victory is not over others, but over yourself. If this message helped you see with more clarity, help us share it. Subscribe to Stoic Valor, and let's keep walking together toward a life of wisdom, discipline, and peace. Breathe, reflect, begin again.